Nagendraharaya Trilochanaya Bhasmangaragaya Maheshwaraya Nityaya Shuddhaya Digambaraya Tasmai Nakaraya Namah Shivaya Tasmai Nakaraya Namah Shivaya Mandakini Salil Chandan Charchitaya Nandeshwar Pramatnath Maheshwaraya Mandar Pushpa Bahu Pushpa Supujitaya Tasmai Makaraya Namah Shivaya Tasmai Makaraya Namah Shivaya Shaivaya Gauri Vadanabjavrunda Suryaya Dakshaya Dharnashikaya Shri Nilkantaya Vrishabhadhwajaya Tasmai Shikaraya Namah Shivaya Tasmai Shikaraya Namah Shivaya Vasishtha Kumbhodbhav Gautamaya Munindra Devarachit Shekharaya Chandrarka Vaishwanar Lochanaya Tasmai Vakaraya Namah Shivaya Tasmai Vakaraya Namah Shivaya Yaksha Swarupaya Jatadharaya Pinakahastaya Sanatanaya Divyaya Devaya Digambaraya Tasmai Yakaraya Namah Shivaya Tasmai Yakaraya Namah Shivaya Panchaksharamidam punyam Yah pathet Shiva sannidho Shivlokam avapnoti Shivena saha mudate.
Lord Shiva is Brahman, God the Absolute. His form is called Saguna Sakar, highly allegorical. Snowy white light is emanating from his body, represents absolute purity. Snake on his neck represents all powers. Kundalini Shakti is under his control. He sits on the tiger skin. All the animal aspect in your personality, anger, greed, etc., all that is brought into tiger symbolism. He is Pashupati, the Lord of all animal aspect of personality. In other words, if you turn to him, you will not have animality in your personality. And the Ganges emerges out of his matted locks. It's Ganga. It washes away all impurities. And he has a drum that represents the Big Bang. And there are many more symbolisms. But basically, remember, He is your innermost self, Brahman, the Absolute, as Shiva. So with that, close your eyes. Om Namah Shivaya. And try to let your mind soar.
We are recording from the ashram of our revered Guru, Pujya Atman Sri Swami Jyotirmayananda in Miami, Florida. Tonight, on the occasion of Maha Shivaratri, Swamiji's special message is Mystic Insight into Maha Shivaratri. And now, Pujya Atman Sri Swami Jyotirmayananda.
Om Shri Ganeshaya Namah. Om Aim Saraswatyai Namah. Om Shri Gurave Namah. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namami Shamishan Nirvana Rupam Vibhum Vyapakam Brahma Veda Swarupam Nijam Nirgunam Nirvikalpam Niriham Chidakasham Akash Vasam Bhajeham. Om. We are celebrating Maha Shivaratri, and presently I am giving you mystical insight into Maha Shivaratri Vrata. The stotra I have recited, it means, O Lord, the Lord of Lords. Lord is very happy now. I offer adorations to you. You are the very embodiment of nirvana, liberation. You are all powerful, all pervading Brahman, who is manifest in the form of the Vedas. You are self-effulgent, devoid of the gunas, the modes of nature, devoid of vikalpas, all mental distractions. You are desireless. You are the absolute consciousness. You are the supreme Akasha. Akasha refers to ether or space, the mystical term. You experience three types of space. Space that allows you to have practical reality. The abstract space that holds all your sentiments. Absolute space is the absolute reality. You wrap up all that exists. You unfold the Akasha, Bhutakasha itself. Adorations to you. Let me begin with giving you subtle meaning behind the mantra Om Namah Shivaya. Every mantra is a blend of bijaksharas. Bijaksharas are root letters. Thus, mantra becomes a mystic formula. It is a mystical meaning. Om is Brahman, the Absolute. Namah consists of two letters, Na, Ma. Na is a negation, Ma, sense of mindness. Your spiritual goal is to be free from ahamata and mamata. And that's presented by the mantra Namaha, neither me nor mine. Me and mine, these are illusions created by the restricted mind. The real I am is the absolute self. So in order to attain that revelation of what you are essentially, me and mine are sacrificed, sublimated. In practice, it is a progressive movement. One day you reduce your me, next day you reduce your mine, third day your me starts shouting, fourth day mine becomes more important. I will not go into the details. Shivaya. She term relates to goddess Lakshmi. You must realize Shiva and Shiva. Shiva is Brahman, and his mystic spouse is Shiva. Shiva is Brahman, Shiva is his Shakti. Brahman and Prakriti. Shiva and Shiva. So that she, who is adored as Sarvamangala Mangalye Shive Sarvartha Sadhike Sharanye Trayambake Gauri Narayani Namostute. That Shiva Shakti, Shiva, expresses herself in three modes: as goddess Saraswati, as goddess Lakshmi, and as goddess Durga. All these are different aspects of Shiva. And Shiva's grace allows all these three aspects to promote harmony in your personality and leading your whole personality to be attuned to realize Shiva. Realize I am Brahman. So that she is worshipped as is the mantra for Shri. And in modern world, you don't need me to explain the importance of Shri. Same source that has inspired the technicians to bring that name, Shri. Va Shivaya. Va is Akasha, supreme expansion of consciousness. And Ya, root letter of the heart, Hridayam. Consider your heart as a divine shrine. And there is Shiva Linga already there. There is a source of light for your mind, intellect, ego, all sourced by Shivalinga. Shivalinga is like a small lamp, flame, a candle flame, is oval shaped, is a linga. That type of presence of Shiva is there in everyone, but its potential is bringing the light of lights. The light that flows through your soul, light as soul as Jivatma. That light essentially is a Jyotisham api tad Jyoti. Light of all lights is Shiva. Considered in an ordinary way of understanding, all illuminations of the sun, especially in the jars of water, they are lingas. But linga of all lingas is Shiva as sun itself. It is same as Brahman, the Absolute. So whenever we say Shiva, it means Brahman, and therefore all gods and goddesses are being adored through Shiva. It's important to understand in a spiritual movement, mind's concept of God remains immature. And they always go through the conflict. I started with Ganesha, but I forgot to worship Lakshmi. I started with Lakshmi, I forgot to adore Saraswati. So Saraswati is angry today. That's an immature way of, the term is used, Ananya Bhakti. When you develop profound, mature understanding, then whoever is your Ishta Devata, you can have Shiva, you can have Rama, you have Lakshmi, Saraswati, Guru, whomsoever you have. That's same as Brahman. The same Brahman is being adored through all these different names. So if you are doing a stotra of Shiva and so your mind switches to the stotra of Rama, don't be upset. Keep your mind open to all types of adorations, all kirtans, adorations presented by all religions. And really whom you are adoring is one and the same God. That God is Shiva. The definition of, scripture definition of Shiva name, Sherate pranino yatra sa Shiva, wherein soul, all souls find eternal rest, free of all miseries, afflictions. That abode is Shiva. And we use terms such as Satyam, Shivam, Sundaram, same as Satchit Ananda. In the practice of Upasana, scriptures have presented many ways of allowing your mind to move from immature state to mature state of devotion. Nobody is perfect. You start from kindergarten level. So in early stage, Rama worship is done in Rama temple. Shiva worship in Shiva temple. Devi worship, you have to go through Devi worship temples. An illustration is given in the Puranas. Example of Rameshwaram. In Rameshwaram, Shiva expresses his devotion to Rama before Uma Devi. Shiva begins to adore Rama. Uma Devi says, whom are you adoring? You are the greatest. See, am I adoring Rama, who is Ishvara of Shiva, with the Lord of me. On the other hand, Rama was asked, whom are you adoring? He says, I'm adoring Shiva, who is Lord of Rama. Rama describes Shiva, Lord of Rama. Shiva describes he whose Lord is Rama. Another most powerful mantra of Shiva, which highlights Shiva's grace, is Maha Mantra. Om Trayambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushti Vardhanam Urvarukam Vabandhanan Mrityor Mukshyamamritat. Om. We worship the three-eyed Lord Shiva. Three-eyed. Same as the mystical Christian presentation of cross. Two eyes, they are directed towards the vision, normal vision, that goes after past, present, and future. The world of multiplicity. Third eye gives you vertical vision. Connect the two eyes, that's one line. Shiva movement is the vertical vision. From a vertical point, you see past, present, and future all at once. From dualistic point, past is gone. You can't get back to it. Future is going to come. Present is constantly shaken. So you are never comfortable, neither with your past, nor with your present, nor with your future. Cut it down by Trayambakam, that divine adoration, turning to God, who transcends the world of duality. He transcends the vision of your two eyes and directs the Jnana Drishti, the vision of wisdom. The vision of wisdom, pal pal mein par Brahma pragat hai. That Brahman is not far away from you. every moment behind the vrittis of your mind, Brahman is the underlying reality. I will not go into that detail because we have to give you many more points. The dancing pose of Shiva presents great mystical secrets. It relates to Panchakrityas, 5 divine functions. Tirobhav, Anugraha, Srishti, Sanghar, Sthiti. Tirobhav means effacement of illusion. Anugraha, shower of grace. Srishti, bringing spiritual inspiration in the process of creation. Whenever you look at the creation, you see the divine glory behind it. Mystical insight into destruction. Every moment, your cells are being destroyed, but that destruction allows new shells to develop. Every seed that is growing passes through many layers of destruction in order to grow with vitality. And preservation. You always see the Srishti, Laya and Palan always happening every moment. Within your body, the destruction goes on. Within your body, construction goes on. And within your body, a sustaining force. The same reality continues unaffected. And these have different names of Shiva. Tirobhav, effacement, is pressing his foot on the demons, ignorance. And that aspect of Shiva is called Maheshwara. His uplifted foot is a shower of grace. Shiva is known as Sada Shiva. Holding his drum that represents Srishti. In that aspect, Shiva is Brahma. Shiva is all. Shiva, Brahma, Vishnu. And preservation, represented by Abhaya Mudra, is granting fearlessness. And that aspect of Shiva is Vishnu. Shiva is also known as Pashupati. Pashu means soul gripped by 8 fetters. That soul makes a person like an animal. Pashu. Those 8 defects, 8 fetters, they are Ghrina, First fetter, grinam, is hatred. Lajja, shyness, means a kind of internal lack of strength, kind of false modesty. Shyness means you, in order to go to the temple, you find your parents, etc., are not in agreement with you. So you always create a kind of a illusion in their eyes, going to the market to buy something. And then we go to satsanga. Bhaya, fear. Shanka, doubt. Jugupsa, gossiping habit. Kul, pride of family. Sheel, pride of social culture. I will not go into details how every person has external show. Putting on cross, putting on your neckties. So much so people go into exaggerated way of having divine names imprinted on their arms. And jati, pride of social caste. These are to be shed. That's what implies by the word Sashtanga Pranam. It is so popular in Hindu culture. The moment you go to meet any respectable person, holy, sacred person, you do, or temple, first thing you do is to lie prostrate, allowing 8 limbs of your body to touch the ground, thereby expressing your aspiration, may I shed these 8 fetters. And who enables you to shed all this? God within you, Pashupati. That Shiva is always the source of all your personality. In the Gita, chapter 13, verse 27, Upadrashtanumantacha Bharta Bhokta Maheshwara. He is the overseer. Always understand that as your ego begins to dissolve, by ego, we are referring to egoism. Simple ego is perfectly normal, rather indispensable. It has to be there. But your eye should shine with spiritual pride. The mundane pride brings a diseased inflammation in your eye, in your I am. Your I am is diseased when you develop your identity as your ego. These are very profound statements. So allowing the egoism to surrender, allowing the real I am to shine. Egoism surrenders to what extent? Becomes bhasma. burns up. When it becomes burns up, it becomes the Vibhuti Shiva. So these are subtle points behind rituals. So just staying with rituals, it makes your mind immature. We're always looking for where can I find the better bhasma. Someone comes from a big temple, brings new bhasma, you throw away the previous one. Or at least we ignore the previous one. So that's an immature state. But even immature state of practice is better than no practice. So that way I can take long time. The very form of Shiva is highly symbolic. The matted locks represent the mystic heights of consciousness. Ganges symbolizes the stream of knowledge, wisdom. The crescent moon denotes the mastery over the mind. His third eye is the intuitive vision that burns up Kamadeva. Kamadeva is Cupid god, which is Upalakshana of all the malas, impurities. Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mada, Matsarya. And this mala becomes sublimated. So that's sublimation is brought about by Ganges, Sanmati, that type of bhavana, that's like a sacred water coming from Shiva's matted heads. His blue throat is suggestive of his triumph over Kalkut poison. Kalkut poison is symbolic of kleshas, afflictions of the world process. Basically symbolic of ignorance. Snakes that form the adornment of Shiva are the cosmic powers. The trident in his hand represents the triad of the three gunas, sattva, rajas, tamas. Principles of harmony, activity, and inertia. He sits on lion skin, thereby implying his mastery over the lower self. Uma, or goddess Parvati, is the embodiment of Prakriti Shakti, manifesting as Saraswati, Lakshmi, and Durga Devis. Shiva Linga is symbolic of the formless aspect of Lord Shiva. Linga means a mark, symbolic of divine Jyoti, the light of all lights. Shivaratri literally means the night of Shiva. According to the Puranas, Lord Shiva was married to goddess Parvati on this day. An ancient story is told that once upon a time, a hunter returning from home from forest was overtaken by the darkness of night. His mind was filled with grief as he thought of his wife and children who were expecting him at home. He climbed a bilwa tree and, tormented by hunger, thirst, and grief, he kept on awake throughout the night. Thinking of his family, he shed profound tears. Unawares, he went on plucking the leaves and dropping them down. It so happened that there was a Shiva Linga under the tree. Lord Shiva accepted his offerings of tears and bilwa leaves. By Shiva's grace, fortune smiled on the hunter He lived a prosperous and happy life, and after death, he was conducted to the abode of Shiva. Highly allegorical story, which relates to every soul is like hunter. You are always going after hunting deer. Deer. Your mind suddenly says, oh, that thing is so dear. Go after it. But you don't deserve it. You want to hunt it down, control it. Things that are dear to you, want to control them. All these errors exist in every mind. You become rush. It's so dear, don't let me go. Control it. Find any scheme or conspiracy. So that's called hunting. Constantly hunting. You're looking for happiness in the world is a happy movement. But there comes a time in your personality as you spiritually evolve that somehow you find it is not satisfying or fulfilling to live a life of hunting. But you don't know what else to do. You sit on the bilwa tree. Now the whole world process is viewed in a sacred way. Your whole personality itself is Devalaya, Shiva temple. But not going in that area, the story is he sits upon the bilwa tree. Bilwa tree is your personality. And shake bilwa leaves, triple leaves. Shaking triple leaves, they refer to shaking triad, seer, seen, and sight. Three illusions are always there in relative consciousness. Like in dream, no matter how real the dream is, the dream subject is not real. The dream world is not real. The dream experiences are not real. How do you wake up? Shedding all the three illusions. Allegorically, that shedding is progressive. You can't shed it by listening to this, oh, tomorrow I'm shedding it. No, your bilwa tree has to go on. In spite of your challenges, in spite of your worries, anxieties, they're perfectly normal. But your tears should not stay always the tears of pathos. Tears of love must enter, love for God. So with love of God, and you go on shedding the three illusions, who is unwittingly, who is being pleased? It falls on Shivalinga. He doesn't know it. But Shiva knows it. He enjoys every drop, every leaf, and he manifests and blesses him. And his blessing is Shakti, Bhakti, and Mukti. So with this, I offer prayers for all of you. May Shiva's grace shower on all of you. Om. Om. Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Shri Ramaya Namah, Om Shri Ramaya Namah, Om Shri Ramaya Namah, Om. May His Karunamaya Rethrus grace shower on all of you with the blessings of Shakti, Bhakti and Mukti. Om Trayambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushtivardhanam Urvarukum Vabandhanan Mrityor Mukshiyamamritat. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhina Sarve Santu Nidamaya Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kashchid Dukha Bhag Bhavet. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Tat.